I think there are three buckets here of defensive coordinators that we can talk about. There are the up and comers who have never been NFL defensive coordinators before. Your Al Harris's, who you mentioned yesterday, Chris Hewitt from the Baltimore Ravens, even Kevin Minter, who was interviewed by the Eagles last year. We can talk about those guys.
Right?
Jesse Minter, sorry.
Yeah.
You have the available defensive coordinators, guys who have shaken loose because of head coaching changes. A lot of people like Ryan Nielsen from the Falcons, who made an improvement for what was one of the league's worst defenses. Patrick Graham is on that list. The Titans defensive coordinator is on that list. And then you've got the sort of head coach of the defense guys, right? Your Vic Fangio's, who is not available technically, but it seems like there's a little bit of,
chatter,
questioning, unsuredness about what's going to happen in Miami. Mike McDaniel did not necessarily go to the bat for Vic Fangio. We know that the Eagles wanted him last year, so maybe there's a way to right that wrong. Leslie Frazier, who you mentioned yesterday, even Ron Rivera, who has said that
he wants back in,
that he'd be willing to take on a coordinator job. Of those, before getting into the specific guys, of those three buckets, which one do you think makes the most sense for where the Eagles are right now?
For where the Eagles are right now, I think the head coach of the defense type, the former head coach with kind of the defensive gravitas to come in, and you might not be getting the up and comer, but you probably have a better idea of what you are getting than the first time coordinator. Now, I always am in favor of giving someone an opportunity, and I like the idea of finding the next great coordinator, if you will, right? I'd rather be a year early than a year late on someone, as you saw last year with Jesse Minter, for instance. But I think given where the Eagles are right now, I think the what Wade Phillips once was with the Rams, what Dan Quinn is with the Cowboys, what Jim Schwartz was with the Eagles, that guy who comes in with the track record, with that gravitas, I think is probably where they go after having gadded the decide.
I think I agree with you. Now, you could make a case that, I didn't mention Ejiro Evero, right? Who is highly thought of and has done a good job with the Broncos and Panthers the last couple of years. You could make a case that he or even Ryan Nielsen might be considered like that. That
or
they
Wink
could
Martindale,
right. That it's not going to be Wink Martindale. Come on, or that they could come in. I mean, it's not going to be Wink Martindale.
Do you know this? I mean, are you saying this with authority?
You think they want to bring more drama into the building with this guy who who philosophically doesn't agree with let the front four go?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's not a match. I think it's not a match for the players, correct?
Or the organization. I mean, that's a guy who who gets in fights everywhere he goes. Then they're not hiring Wink Martindale. But I think you can make the case, and I wonder if this is part of Nick Sirianni's messaging to Jeffrey Lurie, is maybe in the wake of Gannon leaving, I was a little bit too involved on the defense this year, and that took me away from being as offensive obsessed as I needed to be to help fix these problems. And so moving forward, what I need to get our offense as good as possible is somebody who I can fully trust to just handle the defense, and I don't have to worry about it at all. And I think there is a good case for that. I've always liked the idea of Leslie Frazier.
Yes, I was about to say that.
To me, he's the guy. I mean, I'm going to do a story for all PHLY and actually look through some of these guys' track records and have some takeaways. But just from a first glance, I like the idea of Leslie Frazier a lot.
Mm-hmm.
As a fit here, Ejiro Evero would be up there for me too, and I'm even a little bit interested in the Ron Rivera possibility.
Okay, I'm more interested in the Leslie Frazier than the Ron Rivera possibility.
Why is that?
It's been a long time since Ron Rivera's oversaw the defense. Right now, I know he's a defensive-minded coach, but he's been a head coach for a long period of time here.
Yeah, maybe it's reinvigorating to him.
Maybe
really
so.
Just get back to ball instead of having to worry about all that BS.
I mean, Leslie Frazier, he's been a coordinator for 14 years. He was a head coach for 4 years. He runs a scheme that I think, or he's worked in schemes that make sense with this Eagles personnel. When you look at if you can get pressure with your front, he does blitz more. He has that Jim Johnson background. He's worked with, he's worked with Marvin Lewis. He was, the defensive coordinator when Brad Childress was in Minnesota. He was a successful head coach there. You look at his defenses. He's been kind of all over.
In the chat.
What's that?
The Mike Zimmer shout in the chat. How about that one?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, maybe so. Who knows? That would certainly fit that profile, right? But Leslie Frazier is someone who has a lot of. He comes with the gravitas. He comes with the defensive coordinator experience. The organization knows him. Now he wants to become a head coach again. He's 64 years old. That can, in some ways, work against him. But I like the idea of Leslie Frazier if you're going for that profile.
We all silly like the mayor.